In a world where champions are immortalized, one name towers above the rest, Simone Biles. But what happens when the weight of perfection becomes too much, even for the greatest gymnast of all time? When Simone Biles, the untouchable queen of gymnastics, stepped back during the most crucial moment of her career, the world gasped. Was this the end of an era, or the beginning of something far more powerful?
If you think you are the GOAT, quitting is unacceptable.
How dare you call her a quitter?
It is confirmed it is not injury related.
This might be a mental health thing. Where is that coming from?
My childhood and everything that's happened to me.
You have no idea what's going on in her head.
I think it's very hard for someone to go through what I've gone through recently.
Is she supposed to do gymnastics when she's suicidal?
But what if that single act of saying enough wasn't a sign of weakness, but a moment of unimaginable strength? What if it set the stage for the most incredible comeback the world has ever seen?
Has already won 3 gold medals here in Paris. It is her 11th Olympic gold medal overall, and she's had an incredible past few years, hasn't she? She suffered from the twisties in Tokyo, which is when your mind and body aren't synced up, which meant she pulled out of the team event for USA, and then she picked up silver medals, but she took a bit of time out after Tokyo to really focus on her mental health, and she's calling Paris her redemption tour. So when you think about everything she's been through these past few years, it really is incredible. And I know we call her the GOAT. She is widely regarded as the greatest gymnast of all time.
In a world where athletes are often expected to keep quiet and let their performance do the talking, one name stands out as a beacon of strength, resilience, and unapologetic truth: Simone Biles. A woman who has defied the odds, broken records, and now she's breaking the silence. This is the story of when Simone Biles said enough, and the world took notice. It was supposed to be a celebration of athletic excellence, but the Paris Olympics became ground zero for a feud that rocked the gymnastics world. Simone Biles, the undisputed queen of the sport, found herself in the crosshairs of former teammate Michaela Skinner. Skinner's thinly veiled criticisms calling the current US gymnastics team lacking in talent and work ethic sent shockwaves through the community.
But besides Simone, I feel like the talent and the depth just isn't like what it used to be. I just noticed, obviously a lot of girls don't work as hard. The girls just don't have the work ethic, and it's hard too because it's a safe sport. Coaches can't get on athletes, and they have to be really careful what they say, which in some ways is really good, but at the same time, to get to where you need to be in gymnastics, you do have to be, I feel like, a little aggressive and a little intense.
But Simone, she wasn't about to let this slide. In true Biles fashion, she clapped back in the most glorious way possible: a gold medal victory and a not-so-subtle jab on Instagram. Lack of talent, lazy Olympic champions. Ouch. The message was loud and clear. Simone Biles doesn't need to name names to make a point, but Skinner wasn't done, and the drama only escalated when she blocked Biles on social media. Seriously, who does that? And as if the drama wasn't juicy enough, the team rallied around Biles, adopting the nickname FAO, and trust me, you don't want to mess with these ladies.
To Simone, I am asking you directly and publicly to please put a stop to this. We've been hurt and attacked in ways that I am certain you never intended. I take 100% responsibility for poorly articulating the point I was trying to make.
Around and find out became their rallying cry, and oh boy, did they deliver. But Simone Biles' story isn't just about standing up to petty rivalries. It's about confronting the bigger, uglier truths. When a young black gymnast was blatantly ignored during an awards ceremony in Dublin, the world watched in disbelief. a moment meant to celebrate hard work turned into a glaring display of racism.
Simone Biles is speaking out against this viral video showing alleged racism at a gymnastics competition during an awards ceremony where an event official appears to skip a black girl while handing out medals. Simone posted on X that it breaks her heart to see the video and that there's no room for racism in any sport.
My daughter was the only black child in that competition. She stood out well. There was no excuse for what happened. She felt very upset about what happened. It's more like they almost blamed her for being black.
Simone Biles didn't just watch. She acted. Her heartfelt message to the young gymnast was a beacon of hope in a dark moment. Can you imagine what it feels like to have Simone Biles, the greatest gymnast of all time, in your corner? For that little girl, it was everything, and for the rest of us, it was a reminder that even in the face of such blatant injustice, there are people who will stand up and say, "This is not okay." And just when you thought the drama couldn't get more personal, Simone Biles found herself in the midst of a social media storm this time, over her own marriage. It all started with one innocent comment from her husband, NFL player Jonathan Owens, who admitted that he didn't know who Simone was when they first met. Cue the online outrage.
Let me see who this is. Gymnastics, I never really paid attention to gymnastics, so it piqued my curiosity, Didn't know who she was at the time, but like the first thing that I saw was that she just had a bunch of followers. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, she gotta be good.
The internet went wild, with some even suggesting that Biles should leave him. I mean, really? But Simone, ever the strong and supportive partner, stood by her man. She revealed that the real pain didn't come from Owens' comment. It was the public's vicious reaction that brought her to tears. But what did the world not see? A man who's dedicated to supporting his wife, who negotiated with the NFL to be by her side at the Olympics. This is not the narrative of a toxic relationship, but one of mutual respect and unwavering support.
One night I broke down. That really hurt that they were talking about my husband like that. Because for me, it's like, talk about me all you want, but don't come for my family.
The internet trolls might need to take a seat for this one. A montage of Simone Biles' performances and public appearances, focusing on moments when her hair became the subject of criticism. It's almost laughable that in 2024, we're still talking about women's hair as if it's the most important thing about them. But when it comes to black women, and particularly black female athletes, the scrutiny is relentless. Simone Biles has been in the spotlight for years, not just for her unmatched talent, but for something as trivial as her hair. Time and time again, she's had to defend herself against a chorus of critics who seem to care more about her edges than her medals. But Simone, she's not having it. Whether it's on the gymnastics floor or on Instagram, she's made it clear she's here to win, not to conform to anyone's narrow standards of beauty. This isn't just about Simone. It's about the ongoing battle that black women in sports and in life face every day. Simone Biles is leading the charge, showing that strength isn't just in your muscles, but in your ability to rise above the noise and keep shining. And finally, the moment that cemented Simone Biles as not just an athlete, but a true warrior for justice in 2021. She stood before the Senate Judiciary Committee and delivered a testimony that shook the world. She wasn't just fighting for herself. She was fighting for every girl who had ever been failed by the system.
To be clear, I blame Larry Nassar, and I also blame an entire system that enabled and perpetrated his abuse.
While training for the Olympics, yes, training at the highest level, Biles carried the weight of this testimony on her shoulders. Can you even imagine the stress? She was going up against more than just a competition. She was standing up to a system that had enabled one of the most horrific abuses in sports history. We have been failed, and we deserve answers. Those words echoed through the halls of power, leaving an indelible mark on the fight for accountability. Biles wasn't just speaking for herself. She was speaking for generations of athletes who had been silenced, and in doing so, she became a symbol of courage, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of a champion. Simone Biles is more than just the greatest gymnast of all time. She's a force of nature, a voice for the voiceless, and a woman who refuses to be silenced. Whether she's taking on haters, standing up against racism, defending her marriage, or fighting for justice, Simone Biles has shown the world what it truly means to be unstoppable. And as she continues to break barriers and defy expectations, one thing is clear. When Simone Biles says enough, the world listens.